We're up.
Good morning, Canton, and happiest of holidays to you all. I'm Eric,
And I'm Tim.
and this is the Village Idiots Fantasy Football Podcast. We are Connecticut's #1 Masonic Fantasy Football Podcast because we are Connecticut's only Masonic Fantasy Football
we are
podcast.
the the only ones. We're
You
the
know,
pioneers.
We are, brother.
Pioneers.
You and I, man. You and I. It's amazing to think, a couple years ago, right when you were coming, you're coming out of the East, your time was about done. I came to you with the idea, and you're like, let's do it. And then look where we are now, man. Like,
Yeah, no,
3
it's
years
great.
later, we got a podcast going on. We got 14 teams. Like, it's just awesome. And, shout out to everybody out there. We love you so much. Thank you for making this what it is. And so yeah, Tim. So how are your holidays, man?
Holidays were great. Holidays were stressful, right? I mean, the holidays are always a little stressful, and I've still got a little. So, we've got all the things to deal with, and like I say, we have everybody over for Christmas Eve. So that blessedly this year, with the way Christmas Eve fell, on a Tuesday,
Right.
and we took Monday off, so there's a little more prep time. Like normally, I'm cleaning like a fiend, like
the day of.
and somehow I still ended up not getting in the shower till like 3:30, and of course
lucky
people
you got a shower.
people are over at 4, so Aaron's like, get out of whatever. Because what I do is because I was off since Friday. Yeah, because I took Friday the 20th off because Logan's last day of school was Friday, and they do like a Christmas carnival.
Oh, cool.
At St. Mary's. Well, because the kids, it's the day before Christmas break. They're not going to do any schoolwork.
Nothing's going on.
But this kids still have to go to school, so I had volunteered to help with that, and then I got started. But then it's also like I didn't shave for like 3 days, and I was itchy. I'm like, there's no way I have to like.
You're looking baby fresh today, Tim.
I can't stand facial hair, man. It itches too much every time. And when I grow it in, I end up looking like I have a white van and criminal records. So
And candy.
yeah, no. So so it was good. How about you?
Also very good. We went to a friend's house on Christmas Eve, like we have for the past few years. So that was kind of a late night, and then still wrapping presents. I didn't wrap the wife's until that night, and then I told you I got her a vanity, so there's no wrapping that one. I just stuck it right by the tree, and I had the idea. Then 1:30 rolls around, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not wrapping this huge thing with the whatever paper we have left over. I just like no.
Yeah. We what was the thing I got? We got Aaron a bunch of little things, but
Awesome.
we got her a suitcase because she goes back and forth to New York now for work, and she she wanted one of those with like the 4 wheels.
Oh yeah.
So I found one at like I think Marshalls or TJ Maxx, which was nice. So we picked that up, and I ended up figuring out how to wrap the thing. And then we're bringing it upstairs, and Logan goes, "Mommy, it's not a suitcase." And I'm like, "Come on, bro! Like you're killing me, Smalls."
No, man.
It doesn't matter. I mean, you could probably tell what it was from like the wrapping, but so
Livy did that one time, and I'm like, I'm never telling you what I get Mommy ever again.
Exactly. Now Logan helped me. He helped me wrap presents. He was
Awesome.
like, wrapping the gifts and doing his thing. So he loves Christmas. Shockingly, it's his second favorite holiday.
No, what's his first?
Easter.
Really?
Loves Easter. I don't know why.
Maybe does he hunt the eggs and everything like that?
Well,
or-
we hunt the eggs. We do all that stuff. He just loves Easter. I don't know.
Oh.
Maybe it's the bunnies. I
Yeah,
don't
that
know.
might be.
It's just his jam, So,
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you had a good holiday.
Yeah.
And I do have to apologize to him for beating you last week. I mean,
bro, dude,
Jaden Daniels is just a
dude,
beast
my entire season just collapsed last week. Like, I was in good shape. I was in fine shape. If Jalen Hurts doesn't go out,
Right.
I probably win. But because everybody else had a great game,
Yeah.
except for Pacheco, but he's been on and off. Everybody else had a great game. There's not a single person on that. I mean, shit, man. Even the Eagles D came up with 11 for me. Bucker giving me 10. Jamar Chase give me 22. I mean, it was good. You know,
was
we're
crazy.
pretty evenly matched throughout this. I mean, but you also got 27 from the Falcons defense, which was
Oh no, I'm sorry, that was Chris. I played.
oh
I
yeah,
played
that was
right
Chris.
Rushville last night.
Yeah, so
My bad, but
you
yeah, I
know,
was still watching your game. And
I mean, that was
when we were leaving here, that's when you got the alert for Jalen Hurts.
right when I was leaving. Well, I got that he was out, not that he was out.
Yeah.
And then I got the alert Thursday afternoon that
He's not going to come back in.
he's out. So I was like, great. So I ended up picking up because of course Russell Wilson played on Christmas,
Of course.
so I couldn't move him. Which I don't know. Not like that really would have helped me, but now Chris. Again, this is where you got to look. I remember I had said this. I said Jared Goff against Chicago. He's going to put up a huge number.
And he sure did.
And he did, but then you got to look at who's playing who, and the Falcons. They're playing
they
the
should
Giants.
not be-
They played the Giants, and the defense just absolutely owned them.
But 2 touchdowns. The defense got 2 touchdowns last week. It's freaking crazy.
It is time to reevaluate professional football in New York.
Yeah.
Well, really New Jersey. I mean, let's be clear. It's not New York. It's New Jersey.
Well, the Giants need to as well. I mean,
Well, the Jets and the Giants,
yeah,
they both
both,
need to
yeah.
reevaluate. On the one hand, you've got
Buffalo, you're fine. You're fine.
Buffalo's fine. Yeah, we are talking about New York City, not New York State.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you look at it, the Jets have they've just been absolutely atrocious for the last 40 years. I mean, they're never a contender.
They did better last year with Zach Wilson than
They did.
this
They
year.
did. And, so that's a case where the owner just doesn't really want to spend money, and he's woefully involved and uninvolved at the same time.
And
right?
listening to his teenage kids.
And
well.
apparently listening to his teenage kids because, someone's Madden rating is higher.
Whatever.
But then you flip it over to the Giants side, and I think the Giants, that is just a case of gross incompetence.
Absolutely.
You have been banking on Daniel Jones as your quarterback for the last 3 years.
Number one problem right there.
Okay? I get it. I'm pretty sure they drafted him.
Yep, they sure good.
They gave him a lot of money. Same issue down in Texas, right?
Yep.
With Dak Prescott. Gave him a lot of money. What biggest contract in NFL history
Yep.
down there in Dallas. Jerry Jones apparently has early onset something because
But at least Dak played well. Like, Dak had an MVP caliber season last year. When can you say that about Daniel Jones?
you can't.
And,
You can't
but they
say that.
still gave him that contract. Though.
They gave him the contract.
They got rid of Saquon, which was look at Philly right now.
Well, and like I
man.
said,
mean,
he's been on the fuck you New York tour this
Right.
year, and it's been a hit. It's like the fucking Eras tour.
except less expensive.
Well, yeah, much less expensive. But that's just I don't know. It's I don't understand what's going on there. And it's like you go over. It's like going.
They don't want to win.
They
That's
don't
what it
wanna
looks
win.
like. They
I
just-
mean, at least, and I'll give this and a shout out to all of my Chicago Bear friends because I got a bunch of friends who are Chicago Bears fans, and I make fun of you consistently, and you have entered your typical cycle, but this year finally, like I am in agreement, right? The head coach had to go.
Yep.
That was an absolutely atrocious and egregious clock management issue.
It's awful. And they weren't using Caleb right. They
I hope that whoever they hire as the head coach does and GM, because I think they got rid of their GM
yep,
too.
I think they did.
They do not dismantle what they have, because I think for the first time in a long time they have a good core group of players. They have good backs. They have some good receivers. They have a solid tight end. They have a good
Pieces,
quarterback.
yeah.
All right. I didn't want to, Caleb Williams rubbed me the wrong way with his nonsense about I want part ownership in the team and all this other bullshit.
Oh, I must have missed that.
Oh, that was
I-
this was before the draft.
Oh man, I missed that.
But-
That's insane.
The kid came out and he can ball.
Yeah.
Right. And not everybody can say that. Like, not everybody translates from you can be an elite college quarterback, but once you get to the NFL, that's a different game, right?
And not
It's
to
a
mention
different
being on
speed.
Hard Knocks, having that pressure
That
build
pressure as
up,
well.
and then
And
coming into the coming into the regular season, you're still balling.
Yeah,
And
no,
the
you are
defense
100%.
is- they have a really good core. They really do. They can have a couple pieces they need to upgrade, but they can be contenders next year. They can get to the playoffs next year.
They absolutely could. For everybody who's watching, my camera did just go off,
Yeah, it
just
did.
because it ran out of battery, so I apologize there.
Oh no, you just have to
But
stare at
keep
me
on
this whole
keeping on.
time. Sorry, guys.
Don't worry, guys. I have other batteries. I just have to swap it.
And then I played Rate Worshipful and I beat him. Yeah, I'm sorry. My mind is just fuzzy this morning.
You did. You did. You beat him. You beat him.
I was worried because Josh Allen had a down game for him. He had only 15 points, and they were playing New England, and New England gave them trouble last week. You called it. I was like, this is going to be a trap game. New England came out
They came out. They
14-0 right out of the gate, and I was like, oh, shit.
New England wanted to play, and
Drake May played very well.
again, I think this is one of those situations where if we can bring Drake May along, and if Gerard Mayo can be a solid coach,
And you're good at the draft.
then we can get back. We're 2 years
Yep.
minimum away from even making the playoffs again.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
got to shore up that offensive line. It's still a little bit of a joke. You got to give Drake May a couple more targets.
Defense is showing life.
Defense is showing life, and the backfield's been good.
Yep.
I think you need to hang on to Stevenson. You got to hang on to those backs.
Yep.
And
Well, you can not go to Antonio Gibson. Shout out Antonio Gibson. Sorry, bud, but
yeah.
You had the rock over it last week and or yesterday, and you didn't do anything with it.
But I think if you can do that, then definitely.
But yeah, I cannot believe how hard they balled last week, and I was coming into Buffalo and then only losing by 3 points. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah. No, I mean, but then they played the Chargers and absolutely got.
But at least they got on the board,
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess. Yeah. At least they got on the board.
Pop Douglas got his touchdown, and I like saying that name, Pop Douglas. He's
Pop
awesome.
Douglas.
Pop Douglas.
Yeah. There we go. We're back.
All right.
We'll see how long this battery lasts.
Yeah, Achan had a great game for me. Like saying, Jordan Daniels almost put up 50 points for me.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp is still a disappointment right now. and-
It's been a rough year, I think. This is one of those weird year. It is a weird year all around.
Well, he's only getting 3 targets a game now. It doesn't make any sense to me. Puka Nakua is getting 10, and Cooper Kupp is only getting 3.
So
But, it is what it is. And then, so it's me and the senior warden-elect in the championship this week.
yeah.
And right now, he's kicking the living shit out of me. McConkey yesterday had a 29-point game, and I'm like,
Well, it's like looking at my game. Like, how does McBride put up 30? Who the hell's the tight end for the Cardinals puts up 30?
that's
Right?
insane. 'Cause he hasn't done anything. And it's funny because, Kyler is tweeted out, it's like, number 85 is going to get his touch, he's going to get in the end zone, don't worry. And, he
but-
wasn't lying.
And then the Chiefs had not a great game on Christmas Day.
No.
So that killed me. I mean, again, Worthy put up big numbers for me. Not unhappy with that, but Pacheco puts up a point. 6 carries, 18 yards. Here's the thing. Again, matchups, right? And then this is what you're looking at as matchups. Chris has got starting Josh Allen against the fucking Jets.
Yep.
So I'm done. 28. I'm going to call it now. Josh Allen's over 35 points today. Gotta be.
I don't know. It depends. If the Jets defense has some life to it, so they can.
Yeah, person in a coma shows life every once in a while too. It doesn't mean gonna wake up.
Don't tell that to Sauce Gardner, man. All I'm saying, and if he disrupts Allen's play like his play was disrupted last week, he might put up a pedestrian game. He might put up 20 points.
I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening.
They're
same
not
way.
gonna
Same way.
win.
I don't see Mason Rudolph all of a sudden waking up and putting up a 50 burger
Well,
against Jacksonville.
Maybe,
I
get he's
which
gonna
is
get
that
20.
this is what I had. This is what I had to work with.
Yeah. Xavier Worthy had you a good game. though,
Xavier Worthy had a great
but
game.
Who ran the ball for Kansas City? Who's was it?
So
Kareem Hunt?
I'm going to be honest. Okay, it was a Christmas Day game, and so I make this Christmas punch, which is really just apple cider and bourbon.
Nice.
And
Yeah, I know the Fireball on top. Get the cinnamon, man.
So it's a few years ago, I went to Illicit Brewing in Manchester for a Christmas party, and they had this Christmas, I don't know what they call it. It was just like cider punch on tap. It's like, oh, this is like really good. I was like, I'd like to make this for Christmas. So I actually emailed them, and they were like, yeah, we're happy to share the recipe with you. So they sent me the recipe.
That's really cool.
And it's like, apple cider, a little bit of water, bourbon, amaretto, but then it's like something called allspice dram. No idea what this is. It's another like liqueur.
Okay.
So I had to go out and find this. Like I was able to find a bottle like Harvey's in West Hartford. And I up the bourbon a little bit so it gets it's a little more alcohol-y.
Yeah.
But I end up drinking like a lot of that between like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So I wasn't paying attention to the game anyway.
Well, there you go.
I mean, it's we got. How many kids? 5. I mean, there's 8 kids between all 3 of our families.
Yep.
And then, our friend Kristen who comes up with her daughter, and then you've got there's 25, 30 people in my in-laws' house, for Christmas Day. So, just absolutely crazy. But so I wasn't paying attention. I don't know who was running the ball. It wasn't Pacheco.
I'm looking. P. Ryan had 2 carries for 9 yards, 2 receptions for 20, and Kareem Hunt had 9 carries for 20 yards and a touchdown.
And this is the thing, and I think again, if I had it to do over again, I wouldn't take a Kansas City running back because they throw. They throw. That's what they do. Again, I slept on Saquon, and I shouldn't have. I had the 2nd overall pick. I don't even remember who I took.
Well, we can look.
It might have been. No, maybe it was Jamar Chase. It was either Jamar Chase or Pacheco. I took one of the 2, and I should have taken Saquon because he was on the board.
You took Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
First overall, and then you took Pacheco 2nd.
Yeah, and that's because I think by that point, everybody started taking backs.
Well, Achane was off the board. Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor. Everybody was.
So. It was just poor drafting on my part.
Nah, I mean...
And then he gets hurt, right? He gets hurt at the beginning of the year, so I also have to say, hey, it is what it is. I'm not... I mean, it looks like I'm going to end up 4th, so I can't...
Which is still pretty good.
I can't complain, right in the middle there. But, it would have been nice. I mean, we can all agree. At least Justin didn't win, so...
Thank the maker.
I mean, if we're looking at the standings right now, what are we looking at?
I'm trying to.
If we're looking at things, I gotta find the little button. There it is. I mean, I think it's gonna be Chris. Chris Olsen's gonna. I'm sorry, bud, but I think Chris is gonna smoke you.
Here's hoping that he doesn't, but if he does, then guess what? I get to pick out the restaurant, so it's a win-win.
You better pick somewhere good, dude.
Of course I'm gonna pick somewhere good.
Are you though?
I'm not going to pick Raising Cane's, man.
Are you though?
Yeah.
Well, we're not letting my son pick.
No,
so.
we're not letting your son pick. No.
It'll
be something nice. It'll be something definitely with a private area, so we can be loud and rowdy if we want to be.
Yeah. So.
And, I don't. Justin, I hope you come. I'm pretty sure you're not going to, but I really do hope you come. Nick's coming. If Nick is coming. You can't say anything, bud. We're probably gonna pick a day in February.
Yeah.
Probably after Valentine's Day. We'll shore up then. End of February, beginning of March. I mean, Chris right now he's got Jared Goff coming up. The only saving grace I have about that is I have Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta on my starting lineup.
You do. But again,
think of them.
I mean, Jared Goff against San Francisco.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough.
Because I'm happy to have Laporta because it's not going to be a nice safety valve for Goff. And I have Mooney coming up. He had a decent game with Penix last week. It's McConkey that's killing me right now, man.
Yeah.
And who knows what Atlanta's going to do. His defense.
Well, I mean, they're playing Washington. They'll put up some points. They're not going to put up anywhere near the points they put up last week,
No.
but they'll put up points against Washington. I mean, Washington, they're a good team this year. They're by no means a shit team.
No.
But they're not. And they're not an elite team right now.
If they make the playoffs, they'll probably go. They'll probably win the first game. If
Probably.
they make the playoff.
Well, I mean, what is that? What does that playoff picture look like right now?
They're in the hunt.
So yeah,
They're 10-5. They're 7. It looks like they're 7th right now. Overall.
yeah, they're 7th overall. So
playoff probability if they lose is 84%.
so they're in. I mean, I think they're
basically
in.
Yeah,
They're in. I mean, they're playing the Falcons.
the Rams are in because they won.
Yeah, the Rams are in because they won. The Broncos are. I don't think are the Broncos.
Broncos
in yet?
lost.
Oh, they did lose. Yeah.
They lost yesterday. The Bengals.
So
the Bengals shored up their playoff berth.
again, you've got what should be like. The Chiefs should not be 15-1. I'm sorry, they should not.
They shouldn't be. Sorry, Chiefs Nation, but come on, you know that.
I'm not. I mean, and I'm not going to give you any it's scripted bullshit.
No.
They've been some terrible calls, some terrible missed calls, and just some questionable play. And they don't run the ball.
No,
they do not have a ground game. So I've always said this. Patrick Mahomes, in my mind, he's not an elite quarterback. I just don't see it. Granted, we watched Tom Brady play for 20 years, right? But Patrick Mahomes does not make, the big plays.
No, not when you really need to.
And he, in my mind, he runs too much. He's not a deep threat. As a general rule,
he used to be
he used to be, but now I don't know. Plus, I mean, Andy Reid.
That's the thing, Andy Reid as well. I agree with you. I don't think they're making the Super Bowl this year. I don't think they're making the AFC Championship game.
Again, I think the Lions are going to go to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
I think the Lions are going to go to the Super Bowl. And I think it's going to be against the Bills. I think the Bills are going to take it through.
I think the Ravens might. It's either Bills or Ravens. I mean, I don't think we're going to be surprised other than that.
No, I don't think so. Because I
Steelers?
think the Chiefs are going to have to play the Bills.
Absolutely.
I think that's going to be your AFC Championship game. I think it's going to be Chiefs-Bills. And, because I think, looking at the NFC, the Lions, the only real challenge they're going to... I mean, who'd they lose to this year?
Vikings.
They lost to the Vikings.
And
who did they lose to?
I think it was somebody out of their conference, actually.
Let's take a look. Let's see. Where do you guys play?
Did you see I'm starting Amir Abdullah this week?
I did see that.
There's
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Well, yeah, I'll see how it plays out. Yeah, no, I wasn't going to go with Gus Edwards, and then he was called out, so crap. Kenneth Walker was a no for this week. And, I had nobody else. Again, like you with Mason Rudolph, I had to go to the well.
Yeah.
You
They lost to the Bucks.
Yeah.
They lost to the Bucks in week 2 by 4. But look at they put up 42 against the Seahawks in week 4. They absolutely smoked the Cowboys, 47-9.
That
they beat the
Jerry
Vikings once by 3, and put up 52 against Tennessee, 24 against Green Bay. Eked one out against the Texans, 52 against Jacksonville, 24-6 against Indy. Beat the Bears by a field goal. Beat the Packers by a field goal. Lost to the Bills by a touchdown.
So they didn't lose to the Vikings.
They did not lose to the Vikings.
Bad.
They've got the Vikings in week 18. So next week they've got the Vikings. So
my bad, guys.
you know, so I mean, I think they're strong. I think they're strong, and I think yes, they're playing well, but Dan Campbell's literally playing Madden,
Yeah.
right? So, you know, it's, you know, I watched something the other day. It was like on Instagram. It was like a reel about some dude's like, I'm the Lions risk management coach, and he's like Dan, no, what are you doing? You don't bring out the field goal unit on a second down. What are you doing? No, you can't go for it now. No, what are you doing? It just like throws his, like that's got to be what it's like,
That's
right?
hilarious. But you know what? You gotta love to see it because
You know, but when you make crazy calls, I don't know, everybody, you know, when you're coaching, you know, you see things in a certain way, right? Like, you know, when I'm coaching like a lacrosse game and I'm sitting there on the sideline and I'm watching plays develop and go back and forth, and you know, you see certain things and you're like, okay, you know, you'll try stuff,
yeah.
right? And you know, people think you're weird. Players think you're weird. I can't tell you how many times I had a player go, "Oh, Coach, why are we doing that?" Just do it. Just do it. I can't explain why we're doing it. Just do it. And then they'll do it like, "Oh, that worked." Like,
Yeah,
like,
right?
you
Trust
know.
your coach.
trust me, but you know, sometimes you fuck up too, and
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like, "Oh, yeah, that did not work in any way, shape, or form."
But you know what? At least you tried shaking it up, you know? And that's what Dan Campbell does.
Yeah,
You know, something doesn't work. I mean, how many times is he, like, you know, pulling the Bill Belichick and just putting his offensive line as eligible, you know? I mean, and how many times they pass to him? Like,
Oh, yeah, right?
It's insane, and they make the catch.
well, I mean, let's look. I mean, you know, and now, yeah, I mean, how do you think Belichick's going to do down at Carolina?
I think he's just counting his money, to be honest. I don't really know.
How much did they give him? 75.
Yep.
$75 million.
That's all I think he's
It's-
going to do.
Gonna be interesting. It's gonna be. They looked bad yesterday against UConn.
Yeah, I didn't
They
watch.
looked bad, and I think it's funny. People are complaining about the about Pesky's pole at Fenway because I guess it got in the way of some shots
Okay.
from who was airing it. Was it ESPN doing the game? I don't know.
Yeah.
You couldn't put your camera somewhere where the fucking foul pole wasn't right in the middle.
Right? Yeah, the whole freaking back
I mean, if you
wall.
look around here, you notice how my cameras aren't placed, so like you're looking over my laptop.
Yeah.
It's not hard. Even with the glasses on, I can tell where to and not put a camera.
And Tim is not a director of photography or anything like that. So, you know, maybe they should hire you then.
I think they need to pull Larry off of tennis and have Larry do college football.
Speaking of, he's got the Open coming up. He's got to prepare for soon.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
So, but he'll be here next week for our installation. But back to football, buddy.
So yeah, I mean, as we go down here, I mean, it looks like, you know, this first week, it looks like, you know, Justin's gonna pull out a win there against Larry. Nick's beating Trev right now. Bobby Mack beating up on Seamus. And outgoing Worshipful Master is beating up on Joey. Should beat up on Joey a little bit.
Should.
You know, again, it's just. I mean, you look at these records, right? 11-3, 11-3, 9-5, 8-6, 7-7, 5-9, 4-10. Like nobody. You know, I mean, yeah.
That's what we love about fantasy football, you know? I mean, Larry coming into the playoffs, well, I thought he was the team to beat because he just puts up monster numbers. And then,
Yeah.
you know, the first week of the playoffs, his team quits on him, and
Well,
that's how it goes, you know?
This is the thing week over week, and this is the problem too when you draft. You know, when you draft a lot of high tier players, and
They get injured or
not only do they get injured, like, you know, our playoffs
are right up against
are
the...
right when they're preparing for the playoffs.
So they're going to be resting.
So they may be resting them. They may get less snaps. They may get less touches. I think that's less likely with a quarterback. The quarterback generally is always going to play.
Yeah.
When you start talking about backs and receivers,
they want them
you know,
to be
maybe you're going to
healthy.
get two less snaps. Maybe you're going to get two less targets.
Yeah.
but that can also be the difference, right? You never know what's going to happen on any of those. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, especially this year with all the injuries. I mean, we saw so many big injuries. You know, Christian McCaffrey,
He never came. He played what, 2 games, and that was
2 games. Yeah, 2 games. 2 games, 3 games, whatever it
something
was.
like that. But that was it.
You know, you had some big quarterbacks go out. It's been a weird year. It's been a weird year.
It's been an entertaining year, though. Very weird, but very entertaining.
I was saying this to Aaron the other day. Every 3 years, like, things just get weird.
Yep.
And I think we're just in that 3rd year cycle. Because, you know, she was saying, she's like, Christmas felt weird this year. I'm like, it's 3rd year.
Yep.
It's 3rd year, you know? And it's just little things, you know, like somebody leaves early or somebody doesn't show up or, you know, you're just like, yeah, it's weird. You know, and I think this is just one of those years where it's a little bit down and, you know, you do what you got to do. So.
But it also makes you appreciate when things aren't weird, you know?
You do. It does make you appreciate when things aren't weird. So I think it's going to be, you know, we've got a, you know, 1 week after this.
Yep.
You know, but looking at this week, there's still a lot of football to be played. We're also into this weird, like, first of all, why are you playing football on Christmas Day?
Right? Three, what? 2 games?
2
Or 3
games.
Yeah.
It was 2 games.
On Netflix. I didn't catch them.
So we had them on.
Did they buffer all right, like the
Oh yeah.
Tyson?
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
I mean, not as badly,
Well, that's good.
but it pixelated and just terrible. And then
Get your shit together, Netflix. Come on.
You know, why is Beyonce think she's a country artist? That's confusing to
Well,
me.
they were in Houston, right?
She's from Houston.
Well, yeah.
She's from Houston, but
She put out a country album. Her last album was country.
yeah, and Jay-Z was butthurt, both from the fact that he was at a lot of Diddy parties, and from the fact that she didn't win like country album of the year.
Look who it like.
Well, it was like the year. Who was it?
Lil Nas X.
No, because Kanye said something. So it was the year that Beck won like a bunch of Grammys.
Gotcha.
I think it was Beyonce didn't win that year. I think it was Beyonce.
Okay, yeah.
Beyonce didn't win Artist of the Year or whatever it was. And, you know, Kanye like stood up at the Grammys like, this is bullshit, blah, blah, blah. You know, whatever Kanye said, you know, because Beck won all that. And then everybody's like, dude, like you look at the list of people on a Beyonce album.
Yeah,
who
right.
Wrote the songs, played the instruments, did all that. And then like you look at Beck's album, like he wrote the music. He played like 3/4 of the instruments. Like, you know, there is a difference between, you know, in my mind, between an artist and an entertainer.
Yeah.
Right? An artist is somebody who has a skill set. An entertainer is somebody who can pull one trick. And that's Beyonce to me.
Gotcha.
Like, she can pull one trick. She can sing with auto-tune. But she doesn't write music. You know, she doesn't choreograph dances.
Nope.
She doesn't do any of that. Like, that's why you look at that list. And that's why I have a grudging respect for Taylor Swift. Because at least she writes her own lyrics. I don't know about the other things. And I know she can play the guitar and she can play instruments. But at least she can do something that's musical.
Yeah.
And this is, I sing, right? I don't consider myself a musician because I don't play an instrument.
No.
You know, I'm a vocalist, so I can sing. I can't read music. Somebody's got to play the music on a piano, give me the tempo, give me the notes, and I match it, and I'm good to go. You know, that to me, that's what Beyonce does. Like, maybe she can read music. I don't know. But
Well, I don't understand why.
But
Why
people
Jay-Z
are
would
like,
be butthurt. He's like a billionaire.
Because I don't know. But then it was 2 days in my news feed on Facebook of like, did you see Beyonce's performance? What did you think? Rate Beyonce. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah,
I
the
miss when
advertising-
Facebook was nothing but like my friends.
Right, and you're just and all the stupid shit they were posting.
Like I don't ever like unless you seek it out. Like I don't. It's all groups now. Like the only reason I go on Facebook is for groups.
Yeah.
Because that seems to be like how my town communicates. You know, we have a few town groups. I have some like buy sell trade groups that I'm in, hobby stuff. But I mean, I'd say I probably get more out of Instagram if I'm looking for what people are doing.
Yeah.
But I spend a lot less time on social media these days because it's just
I can't.
it doesn't do
I
anything.
can't. No, I get you. No, it's just. And this is the way people choose to communicate, at least for the time being. You know, that'll change in a couple years. 'Cause, Facebook used to be the way people communicated 4 or 5 years ago. Now it's Instagram. Now it's TikTok,
I think it comes
and
full. Yeah, I think it comes full circle.
There'll be
I
something
mean,
else
I look at my teenage nieces and nephews who are, very much, teenagers, and they, like, my niece constantly has her like AirPod in.
Yeah.
Like, I challenged her at Christmas. I'm like, just take it out. It's like, I'm not even listening to them. Just take it out.
Yeah. Why do you have it in
then? What, take it out. Like, they're just constantly on their phones, and then like the little ones a little less so, because I don't see this push to like get phones. Like, I remember like my niece and nephew when they were younger, like, 9, 10, like, I want a phone. And I don't hear that from the little kids so much, now, but I'm guilty of it too, right? Like, I sit on my phone here and I sit there on our phones and, I got to get off, but I don't know, different conversation for a different time, I guess, but
yeah, I mean, when the season's over and we're still doing this,
yeah, right.
We are still going to do this, guys.
Just turns into something.
And that's all we need to do.
True.
Sit
Just
here,
kind of talk about what's going on.
talk about what's going on. Maybe we'll have people show up from time to time.
We should have people show up from time to time.
Apparently, Brother Olson wants to come on. But I was like, well, come on.
Come on. Come on down.
Guys, when we have mics. We
We do have mics. We do have mics.
We have, a platform. Talk your crazy shit, and we'll try not to laugh too much. But yeah, and thank you. I know you're voting for Chris, but I still like to push my case for winning this whole thing.
I mean, you can push your case as much as you want, but
Nico Collins had an off game though, man. I mean, not as bad as Cooper Kupp, but I still got.
You're up against math.
You're
You're
right.
up against math.
You're right. But when
Math is the all-time winner.
I do math. But yeah, math. You're right about that. We'll
dude,
see.
again, you're getting 30 out of McConkey.
I can get 20 out of Mooney, so we'll see.
I don't know. Again, I think Atlanta's going to put up another decent number on defense, but I think Jared Goff's going to put up another decent number. Jaden Daniels against ATL. I mean, they've got a good defense, man.
They do.
They've got a good defense.
But he also ran 68 yards last week too. Like, he ran the ball. So
yeah.
I
mean, you got St. Brown. He should put up, but
Aaron Jones versus Green Bay. I mean,
true, but I mean, like, Cooper Kupp should have put up more.
Like I said, they've thrown him 3 targets like clockwork for the past 3 weeks.
I mean, not that you had anything sitting on your bench that was going to be like, oh shit.
No,
but
I could have probably put Hawkinson in, put Mooney in for Kupp, and then put Hawkinson in my flex.
You could have done that.
But I don't trust Hawkinson at the moment. But we'll see. Right now it's not looking good for me. But
it's not. But hey, anything can happen. Anything can happen.
You know what? Again, I don't win. I come in second. I get to pick the restaurant, and there we go. We get to have a good time with the whole
That's
league.
right.
And
yeah, we get to have a good time and hang out. So yeah. So if you, I guess
I'm probably leaning towards Mercado right now. If I was
yeah.
I mean, I like good food there. They have the back room. We can probably reserve.
Yeah, it's good food there. It's good food. I didn't mind Mercado the last time we went there. Just not the rooftop. That place was, it's that is style over substance all day. To me, that's like that place in Southington, Cava. You ever been there?
No.
So Cava's that place in Southington. They
had the rooftop opening.
No, they always decorate it. Like, they go over the top with decorations like throughout the year. Like Christmas time, obviously they're decorated. And I've been there a few times for like business functions.
Food's not good though.
The food's not good. The service isn't great, and the food is mediocre at best.
Friends are trying to like get us to go there with them, and we never did.
Like I said, Erin went there to the rooftop a couple of months ago, and she was like, she didn't even come in and say it was mid. She was like,
if you want drinks and sushi, it's fine for that,
Yeah.
Even in the spring, summertime when it's nice out, absolutely. But if you're gonna go for a dinner, like actually sit down, it's not like their menu's weird. Like, their fusion is just.
Actually, speaking of that, I gotta make a reservation down at Foxwoods at Hell's Kitchen again.
Oh, nice.
I gotta try to do that.
The rooftop portions is small. Like for what you pay for, it's not. It's
Yeah,
not worth it.
I haven't been there.
No,
Have you been down to Hell's Kitchen down at Foxwoods?
No.
Highly recommend.
Okay.
You know, highly recommend. We
That's
went.
Gordon Ramsay's place, right?
Yeah, and apparently they filmed the last. So I used to watch the show religiously. It was one of my favorite shows, but we don't have cable anymore, so I
Yeah,
don't catch it.
me
But
either.
now, obviously, you know, with whatever 9 billion streaming services I have, somehow it was turned on the other day, and I guess the latest season, the last season, they actually filmed at Foxwoods.
Really?
That's why, and it
cool.
didn't click for me until we started watching it. If you remember over the summer, Gordon Ramsay got hit by a car.
Yeah.
That's why he was in Connecticut, because they were down there filming. So I've started, you know, it's on, it must be Hulu.
Yeah.
You know, that I've been, you know, that we were only like 2 episodes in, but I'm like, but we went, was it last? Oh, fuck. Might have been like March. It was cold. So it had to be beginning of the year. I think it was the beginning of this year. It must have been the beginning of this year.
Okay.
So maybe January, February. And it was really good. You know, food was excellent. I remember asking, or we went with a couple of friends, and they have like out at each, it's just like the show. So they have the big open kitchen.
Yep.
And there's these weird like water, they look like water jugs. It's like spinning water. And I'm like, what is that? And the waitress is explaining it's like purified, distilled water. Like they clean the water
Okay.
before they use it. So like that's the way Gordon Ramsay is at all of his restaurants. Apparently, you can't just use tap water.
Well, that's good.
You know, you have to. It's like cleaned and, you know, double filtered or something before they use the water in
That's
whatever they're
awesome.
using. So we're like, oh, that's pretty cool. But yeah, you know, obviously I, you know, had the beef Wellington, which was amazing. You know, but you know, bring your wallet, because it was not cheap.
Absolutely. You know,
You know.
I can't tell you the last time I was at the casino. I don't get down there very much. But,
I'm not a gambler, so
Yeah, me either.
like I'll go down.
I'll play poker with you guys, you know.
I like poker. I've gone down. I used to go down and play poker pretty often at Mohegan, because they had a poker room.
I love their poker room.
But I don't like, you know, I'm one of those people, like I'll throw $20 in a slot machine and I'll pull the lever and somehow I win like $150 and then I walk away.
Yep.
I don't understand people that sit there at like the penny slots and just feed that shit money, and just, I'm like,
No,
I can't.
You win, you walk away.
you know, I'm very straight. Like if I bring $100 to the casino, and if I lose $100, I
that's
lost
it.
$100.
You
But
walk
you know,
away.
it was in the budget. If I win, great. I'm not going to press my luck. Let's move away.
No.
You know, we're good to go.
And slots, slots are a dumb game because, you know, all you're doing is pulling the friggin' lever. At least with poker, with blackjack, you know, you have some modicum of
Yeah.
control over what's going on. But with all you got to do is, you know, especially with video slots, you just add more
Yeah, you
money.
just add more money
and that
in.
was it.
I mean, I don't
don't
understand craps. I've tried.
No.
Everybody's tried to teach me. Like my brother's really good at it. I can't understand
I don't
craps.
understand roulette either. Like,
Well,
I mean, I know-
roulette's pretty easy because
well,
it's
I understand it. I don't understand people's fascination with
it's
it.
just, but it's the way it pays out, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, roulette's one of those things where, yeah, it's, you know, you learn how to do that, and then, you know, like obviously I can play blackjack, I can play poker.
Yeah.
Those other games, like I have no idea, and I have no interest in knowing them, you know, because
You want to know what show I've been going back to, like shows I've been catching on Hulu? That quiz show with balls. You watch that one with Jay Farrow as the host?
no, I don't think so.
It's you know, they pit two families against each other, and it's a categories game. So you pick out which category you want, and then they give you a list, and you start off with 5 family members.
Yeah.
And there are 6 slots where you have to stand in front of, and they have these giant balls that'll come down. And if you give the wrong answer, like if you're standing in the wrong slot, they'll knock you into a pool of water below.
Well, that sounds pleasant.
It's actually really funny. But I just root for people to get hit by the balls. And but yeah, I've been watching that one. That one's been pretty good as far as newer shows. So, but yeah. Check it out, man. It's actually Jay Farrow's awesome anyway.
Yeah,
But,
I would check it out.
But yeah, I know we're at the time crunch. We're at the
Yeah, we're at the bottom of the
bottom
hour
of the
here.
hour. So we will be back here next week for week 2 of championships.
We will.
And the new year. Hopefully, we'll be sitting here in 2026, not hating life at the beginning of it.
It's
But,
2025.
Oh, it'll be 20.
Yeah,
I'm so off right now.
You're ahead, bud.
Maybe I have a
Yeah.
time machine. Maybe I'm not ahead. Maybe I'm just early.
Well, then I feel like you should be putting up more points.
Yeah, I should. Bert, very good, man. Very nicely done. Alrighty, guys. Thank you for sitting here with us. I'm Eric,
And I'm Tim.
and this has been the Village Idiots podcast, Connecticut's #1 Masonic Fantasy Football podcast, because we are Connecticut's only Masonic Fantasy Football podcast. Be good. Happy New Year, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.
Happy New Year, y'all.